Welcome back in Belgium.
Thank you.
You know, we are the center of Europe.
That is true.
We try to get Europe alive and kicking butt. Last time it was in the Roma in Antwerp, 2017. Great show.
It's been that long.
That long, yes.
Sad.
But what can you tell us between 17 and 19? A lot of things did change, or no?
Well, you know, we did this new record, so Box
Yes.
of Breath, and that was for me, it's always a major effort because I don't just record songs, I make a record.
Does that mean that every record is a...
I think the shortest it's taken me is 2 years, 3 years.
to prepare it?
You know, you write the songs and then you record it and then you produce it, and with me,
That was, like you said, one of my remarks. It takes always a long time to get a new one, to prepare the album.
well, I mean, for me, because I really care and I think about all the different things I want to do, like this one, we have a balafon player from Mali, you know, so Bala Kuyati, who's this amazing balafon player, so I have to find a balafon player, bring him in, and
To find
we
him.
had different, you know, I have like different ideas for every song,
Yeah.
and so I
You
have,
have to find the right persons to fill in your ideas.
yes,
Yes.
you're manifesting a vision.
The right musician with the right instruments.
Right, and that's not always easy.
That's...
And then also, it's only me. I do all the producing.
yes.
So I do all the design. I do everything.
You are since the 90s the frontman, songwriter, lead singer, harmonica player, and more.
Yeah, everything. Guitar, some now penny whistle, pan flutes. Yeah, well, I have a writing partner, Eric Della Penna, who's not on this tour. He couldn't make this tour, but we work together. So we meet every week, like a job. You know, you sit down to write songs.
And you named your the band Hazmat Modin. I was doing some research, and Hazmat is a character of a comic.
No,
It's a horror film.
No.
The name of, but it's the name of dangerous goods.
yes, it's short for hazardous material.
Yes. And then Modine had something to mean with
It's a heater.
heater, energy.
Yeah, it's just a kind of it's a commercial name for this heater that hangs down and blows hot air.
Yeah.
So,
So that combination,
yeah,
that was the name of your, is the name of your band.
yeah, but this was 22 years ago. It's a long time.
Yeah, that
Before I had white hair here, and you also.
means that your ideas have changed.
No, it's the name becomes a name, and then it's like the sound that you hear with the band.
You change the shape.
Now I would make it shorter for sure. Short name.
Or Hazmat, no.
Maybe, or something else. I don't know.
You started your band in New York.
Hmm.
Is that a good city, a good place to go with ideas, musical?
I mean, people always talk about New Orleans and Chicago, of course. But New York has its own musical history that's equal to both of them because, like Chicago, it was a center for the African American diaspora. Black people came there.
More influences.
It had influences from everywhere, plus it had all the immigrants that came here, the Italians, the Jews, the Irish, everybody came, and it's equal to other cities in terms of its musical history. Of course, it had its own rock history, the punk history. So culturally, I think it's a great place. It's a hard place because it's so expensive. It's, you know, hard to live there. But I think you can find musicians who have tremendous skill there.
To change ideas and to things together.
people who can do all sorts of things. Like
Yeah.
what's characteristic, I think, of New York musicians is they have to be able to do a lot of different things
Yeah.
in order to make a living.
Mr. Wade Schumann, why did you want to become a musician? Was it because of, were you destined, or your environment, or your...
I don't think I had a choice. It's just something I have to do. I think that my brother is 7 years older and he was a musician, and so I heard music growing up.
He inspires you.
Well, when he was 14, I was 7, and he was
Oh.
playing blues and boogie woogie and the Beatles and
It's
bluegrass
gonna be
and the
a-
band. So I was hearing all that as a young child, all the time.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to New York, I decided I wanted to start my own band. That was the big difference. And at that point, I had not really sung in public or anything.
No, but Hazmat, is it Modine or Modine?
Modine.
Modine is not an everyday band.
No, it's
Just-
unusual.
In the lineup, 8, 6, 60, 10 musicians.
It's generally 8. This tour, for some of the tour, it's 7. Our trombone player is coming in.
With a specific instrumentation.
With this group, you know, it's drums, guitar, harmonica, and I also play guitar and some other things.
Saxophone.
Saxophone. He also plays clarinet and flute, and then
Sousaphone.
trumpet and sousaphone, which is always important. And then the trombone lady is coming shortly.
You need that people, that instruments, because of the sounds.
Yeah, I like a lot of different sounds. I like to go see. For me, I want what I would like. I like every song to be different idea, and I want a lot of textures.
Which sounds do you want to evoke?
Sound?
Your own, of course, your own song, but how would you define it?
I think Hazmat is both kind of raw and chaotic, and also very controlled and very arranged. So we're arranged and thoughtful and controlled, but at the same time everybody's slightly out of control.
Yeah.
So I like that, and I think that's New York. You know, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
So my writing partner Eric always says, you know, like New York music is kind of always fucked up because it feels like it's going to kind of fly apart at any moment. And he said, if you
What
look
you
at
feel, you bring.
New York rock bands, it's always been that way, you know. And I think that there's something about that rawness that I am interested in. There are a lot of good musicians, but sometimes music can be too thought out.
Yeah.
In a way.
But working together with that many of maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you leaving?
I'm just leaving it something.
All right. Is that yours?
That is mine.
Can I have it? This is Thor Jensen. He is
the guitar player.
Sitting in. He is with us
Venue
on the star
player.
playing guitar. Very talented man.
Yeah.
And a good man, and he lives in upstate New York now. You're filmed, and they work for the CIA.
You're happy to work with Wade.
Very much.
He
Absolutely.
hasn't killed me yet, so far it's good.
That's a long time ago that you started this.
No, a
No.
month ago. He had
A month
learned
ago.
all this music in 1 month. He's fucking brilliant, this guy. He learned it all. He has to sing at the same time while he's playing a lot of notes.
Great, pay him good and keep him in the house.
I don't know if I can do the first thing, but I'll try and do the last thing. The two things are not connected.
Oh, but working together with that many of musicians, that must be also difficult.
It's
Changes
challenging
in, out,
in
and
the sense that everybody is a person and they have their own needs and beliefs and desires, and they all want. You have to make everybody feel like they're doing what they want to do,
Yeah.
while you get them to do what you want them to do. That's what a band leader
that's-
does. I
that's
have
the
to bring
problem of
every
the manager.
yeah, and you have to make sure that each one feels happy, but they have to go together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
do you think that you're making music for the people or for a select kind of people?
No, I make music for everybody. I mean,
Why are you so sure about that?
because I want to make people feel good. So I don't care. I don't want to make specific feel
No.
good. I want everybody to feel happy. I think our music does appeal to a lot of different people. Children like our music, and also very old people like our music.
Like me.
It's a mixture of everybody. Well, we're old. Listen, here's the thing about Hazmat.
But
We have
we-
people in their 20s,
Wait,
30s.
we have the experience.
Yes.
We know what we hear.
Yes, that's true. We have in the band people from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and Joe will be 70 in
great.
July.
That's
So
great.
that's, I think, almost unheard of any band that has that range of.
Yeah.
And we have, people of every background, male, female, so.
Great. When I first got an album of the band on my disc, it was Extra Deluxe Supreme 2015, I think.
Yeah.
I was surprised
Why?
because I got from Freddie a Roots album that was different. It was not an everyday album, but it was discovering new things, new sounds, new instruments. It was great.
I mean, I am not. I'm not a trained musician, so I think I approach making music very different than a lot of
Yeah.
people. I try to avoid cliches or known forms, and I think I try to put everything I like into the band, even if they don't seem to relate. You
Yeah.
know, so this is why I like to collaborate with people from all different
but
backgrounds.
to be able to do that, you need time. Like you said,
Yes.
not 1 year, not years.
No, it's an old band.
Years. You need time to put down your ideas, to find the right people, to.
Well, this album, Extra Deluxe Supreme, is the first album where all the songs were written by me and my friend.
Yeah.
So before that, there were some covers. So for me, that was a singular achievement to just write my own songs. I think a lot of roots musicians, a lot of traditional musicians, they just use songs that other people have written.
the old ideas.
Yeah, and I feel like it's cheating because
Yeah.
you can always get a song from a genius,
Yeah.
and then you feel you're a genius because you're doing a Howley Wolf song.
It's hard, like you said,
it's-
but it's a bit cheating, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I just feel like if I'm going to do this, I want to see what I can do.
Yeah. Let's go to your latest album. It got a name, Box of Bread.
Box of Breath.
Why did you choose that specific name?
For the album or for the song?
I don't know. Maybe it's the title of the song, but it inspires you to give you the album that name.
It's one of my favorite songs. I also think it's a nice metaphor. I think that, it fits on a lot of levels, harmonica is like a box of breath. But so is a saxophone, but so is the human body. Your body is just a box of breath. Your breath goes in, the breath goes out.
Yeah, but you're using a specific thing to blow your harmonica through. The thing that you use on.
Oh, that's I use this
Is that the,
karaoke stick.
How do you call that?
It's just for singing karaoke for children. Costs $13. I just like the sound of that.
Everybody was asking, what is he
Yeah,
doing?
now it's dying, which makes
Yeah.
me sad because it sounds so beautiful. But here's the thing: the story is I had an engineer. The guy I worked with years worked in radio, and he would cut out breath from interviews.
Yeah.
So because people. So he took these little snippets of analog breath and he put them in a box. So he had in this box all the breath of all these people. And I thought that was also a beautiful metaphor, Because you're a box, you have all these breaths, and when you die, that's all you ever get in your life.
How different is the Box of Bread album when you compare it with the other ones?
I mean, I'm not objective. I would say it's the most realized in terms of personal songwriting.
Yeah.
I think that the melodies are good, the structures of the song are good, the lyrics are good. I think I also tried to return to something that was a little more rootsy, maybe a little raw. I think it's the most confident as a total record. I also was a little more experimental in some ways. First with the Balafon is on 7 tracks, so it's a lot of tracks.
Yeah.
And also I did a song with Son of Dave. I don't know if you know him. He's an amazing musician out of, he's Canadian, but he lives in London. Plays harmonica with loops and beatbox. So that was nice to collaborate with him because I've always thought he was a great musician. I've got the Daxophone on it, which is this incredible instrument invented by a guy named Hans Riechel from Wuppertal. It's the most expressive instrument in the world. Nobody knows it. It's almost extinct. And I got, so I got that for one song. And then the Extra Deluxe Supreme, which I was supposed to be on the album Extra Deluxe Supreme, but I didn't finish it in time. I did for this album.
Yeah.
And this one is almost just talking.
Yeah.
There are more songs that are almost lyric oriented.
My chief, Freddy, gave me the album and he asked me to give some comments. The hard job,
Yeah.
but it was a good job. I give you some of my comments. Lost styles, blues, New Orleans, the Balkan. You can hear and Africa.
Yeah, there's definitely more influence of Malian music because I think some of the best music at the moment is coming out of Africa. And of course, American music comes out of West African music, and then of course the West Africans are influenced by American music.
But
so it
how
goes back and forth.
how do you find the influences? Is that because you hear something or somebody tells you wait, you have to listen to that song?
I've always listened to lots of different music. I always listen to music from all different countries, but I think there's also more clearly the influence. Like maybe 6-7 years ago, we got to play with this band Bambino from Niger, and that was great, So and then we had a drummer of the band, Tim Kuiper, who played with Via Facatore for 10-15 years. So he also influenced me some because he recommended certain musicians. It's an incredible, but I don't ever try to reproduce. To be very clear, I don't try to play in a style or a language of other cultures.
You're always searching.
I try to find the place where the music meets, and not to imitate it or make fake African music. I'm not interested in that. I would do a lousy job. So when I brought in Bala Kuyati, I said, I've written these songs, see what you feel is right, and he immediately worked without me having to change the song or him to change his style,
My favorite song was The Lonely Man. Yeah.
Yes?
That's not my favorite, because of the balafon, the horns, the harmonica, the whole atmosphere.
Yeah, Lonely Man, that's Eric singing that one, so I'm very offended. No, it's Eric singing that one. Eric has a beautiful voice.
That's not because you're not singing, but
I'm kidding.
I'm honest. That was a song that was...
So he had a groove, and we worked on the groove, and I thought, okay, that's a great groove, and that was distinctly influenced by Malian music. And then he left, and I thought, I have this song I wrote like 20 years ago. How would it fit? So he came back. I said, let's see if this fits, and then we made it fit. That was the idea. And then we have decided that it modulates in the middle. We have a tuba solo because I try to make sure everybody solos in the band. And so we did that. And then I got Bala later to record on it after we'd recorded it.
Yeah, great song.
Yeah, so it was again, it's a layered
So-
process.
I tried to finish the interview.
Okay.
What keeps you busy outside of music? You're a musician, but
I'm also a painter.
oh,
And I also work full-time as a professor at a grad school, teaching painting, drawing, and art history. So I have a whole other life.
what does your student say about the teacher?
Hopefully they say nice things, and sometimes they don't, but they generally...
Do you get reactions or
About being a musician?
no by teaching them?
I've taught for 30 years, so a long time.
Yeah,
It's different life, music and painting. It's
Yeah.
a different mentality.
that's-
Music is very much about collaboration. Painting is a solitary thing.
yeah.
So it's a different-
a thing of you.
It's a different part of your person
Yeah.
to do these things. So it takes more different kind of spiritual
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah. The next weeks you are touring in Europe.
Yes.
You're going to Germany, Austria, Holland.
Holland, Belgium,
More
Switzerland.
plans in
And
Europe.
and we went to Kiev actually, so that was nice. No, it's a lot. It's 27 shows in 5 days. That's a lot, and it's every day.
Is the difference between Europe and the States great? When you come to Europe, it's another world. No.
Well, I've been coming here my whole life. It's a very different world. America's a mess at the moment. It's just a disaster.
Do you like playing in our countries?
Yes, of course. I think that you appreciate music very much. I think that
They always say when I ask that question, we in Europe, we try to listen more to the music. We try to,
Well, it's like this, you know. How often do you go and look at Rubens? Not so often.
no,
So Americans, you know, in some ways take the music for granted in a way. I think Europeans don't, because it's always a little harder, I think, in your own country. One
I-
moment, you're leaving.
I see that everybody is getting nervous, so I give you a last question.
All right.
By being a musician, what did you learn about yourself, about life?
What did I learn by being a musician?
Are you lucky? Let me say it. Are you lucky to be a musician?
Oh yeah, I mean the thing that's great about music is that you live in the moment, and that's the only place you live. Otherwise, you don't. The past is gone and the future hasn't happened. But the one place you live in is now. And when you're a musician, you're playing. You're in the moment. Often, not always. Sometimes you're thinking about tomorrow's breakfast while you're on stage. But in the real beautiful sense of it, you're in the moment, experiencing feeling with other people at the same time. So this is a great gift, and it's a great gift to make something that you feel and other people also feel it from you. This is one of the only
That
reasons
you can
to be
feel
alive.
together.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Wade Schumann, I thank you again for your time.
You're very
I thank
welcome.
you again for your roots time.
Yes.
We are in Europe.